Hello, Todd. Nice to meet you. I bid you strength, and it's a difficult time for all of us. But we have this class to entertain and focus on. This will be some video feedback for Milestone 1. Todd, I'm assuming that this is your most recent iteration. I'm viewing it from the 4.1 discussion board. And how good on you to post or embed the image. It makes it easier to respond to, without having to open up a file. So good job on that. You've used the corporate palette color, this sort of purplish green, pretty well in the type. It looks like you've used this typeface. It is called, well, it was using the titles and of what was it called? Avatar. There you go. A couple years ago, and it has sort of a mixed history. Be aware that the corporate typeface is Arial, and you probably want to use that. Have you found the corporate style guide? I think I need to point you in the direction. Todd, I went back through my emails and saw that you found the Amethyst Bay style guide, and that I think it made more sense to you. So, yeah, here, this gives you the corporate palette, the typefaces that you can use, and suggests some sizes and some variations to use for subheads and so forth, text. One thing I would say is that you can open this in Illustrator and then select drag and drop. And that way you'll get the entire lockup. And I think maybe I mentioned something about logo lockups in week 2's feedback. Anyway, I'm glad you found it. I'm sure it's been useful and illuminating. Todd, this is your zip file. I just opened it up. And I see you've got a PDF with screenshots of your work. So good going on that. That's good that you keep a record of your progress. And you'll be making a final reflection too. And actually, you've got a good head start on it, where you show your techniques and your abilities to mask and also composite your final ad. And I think armed with the style guide and a new understanding of what style guides do for you, a lot of your visual decisions have been made according to the style guide, but don't let that suppress your creativity. And I like that you made this photo composite with yourself in the in these flowers. It's very nice, looking off into the horizon. It's not your typical beach shot, and perhaps extend. This might want to. The figure might want to sit a little higher, because I think that would, just judging from the perspective, that would put your feet about right here. So if you can, maybe move it up. I don't know. It's just a suggestion on that. I like the simplicity of the amount of copy and the what it says. Just get somebody to proofread it. I see a typo right here under competitors. Do you know any English majors? It'd be good to run them by. And you're going to have to include some dummy copy here that would give the URL, phone number, perhaps. All fictive, but or fictional, but necessary for an ad. Think about what is necessary for an ad, and then maybe do a little bit of research, visual research, on other resort advertising. You don't want to copy them, but they may give you ideas about refinements you could make. Todd, sorry, hopefully there's not too long a lapse there. I just opened your file in Illustrator, and as you can see, it's prompting me for a typeface. Struggling for the name of that typeface you used. It's called Papyrus. Google Papyrus typeface, and you'll see that it has a kind of a controversial history. But you know now that you probably should be using Arial, and so that's probably a moot point. But just find out more about Papyrus. I think you'll find it interesting. So I'm going to have to close this, and I do, however, have embedded images from you, and I can turn them on or off. So, plus you've got your silhouette figure, which I can turn on and off. I was just thinking maybe, perhaps you could, you can. So that's the beauty of how you have your file arranged. I think that might be a little bit more interesting perspective, and you might, or not interesting, but accurate, because judging from the scale of these plants, and you might have to make it a little more transparent on your mask here. But it looks like you know how to do that, so good going on you on keeping your ingredients on layers that you can edit easily. And two, you know that you'll be using the corporate logo or lockup, and you can just open that file in Illustrator. Okay, so pardon me for all the gaps in this recording. I've opened the style PDF in Illustrator. I'm using the select tool to select what I want. I'm copying it to my clipboard. I'm going back to your file. I'm going to create a layer for it. I can do that here. And I'm going to label that layer logo. Whoops, I'm doing that off screen here. I should do that on screen. And I'm going to paste. So what this does is it imports the vector logo, and I can find the right tools here. It floats over the, as you can see, it floats over the images, any solid, and it keeps the lockup. Okay, so here it is. It's the direct select tool that allows me to move it around. And once I release it, there you go. So that's what you want to do. It's a pretty easy process. You can also drag and drop from Photoshop to Illustrator. Todd, I hope this has been helpful. I'll probably end it here, and I bid you strength, and I look forward to the next time we interact and I get to know you through your work.